All right, welcome back, guys. So we're working on the Enduro motor, and we have the pistons sitting in some Berryman B12 Chem Clean. We put them in a pan with the head of the piston down, and then filled the pan up so it would cover the ring lands. And that stuff works really good. We leave it for about 4 hours, clean it, leave it back in there for about 4 hours, clean it, and sometimes you can even leave the stuff overnight. Pistons are an aluminum alloy, so they're pretty hardy. The Berrymans don't chew them up too bad. So we get those soaking, like I said. In a few hours I'll go and check on them, we'll clean them and do all that. But today what we're going to do is we're going to show you how we're going to prep the cylinders. So I took the set of the factory rings, the first and second ring, and slid them down inside the cylinder, used the feeler gauge to check the gap. Turns out the top one's gapped at 20, the bottom one's at 24. So that's what we're going to be gapping our new rings at whenever they go in. Now before we do that, even though you can see the crosshatch from the factory cylinder hone, we need to rough up the cylinder walls so that the rings have something nice to seat against. So what we did is we turned the crankshaft so the throw of the crank is going sideways. We don't want it up because I don't want to risk accidentally hitting the throw of the crank, the bearing surface, and we don't have the throw all the way at the bottom because the counterweights come up to the top of the cylinder, and then I can't get the rag down in there very far. So shove the rag down in. We get the crank in there this way, so that would be good for 1 and 4, and then we can turn it, and then we'll have to turn it for cylinders 2 and 3. So we got the rag shoved down in there. We can fish that out with this later, and we're going to show you how we're going to prep these cylinder walls. And I'm not going to show you every single one. Once you see how to do one, you can do the other ones. So we're going to hone them, and it doesn't take that long, only about a minute. So we got some WD-40 in here. Just going to wet the cylinder walls down with that, and slide our hone down in, and we want to keep this moving. We don't want to leave it in a static position just spinning around. We want to keep it moving. We also want to keep it lubricated. The reason for that is we want to keep the stone clean as we go and supply a little extra lubrication. So without further ado, let's get started. And we want to grab a hold of this. We don't want to slide them out. We want to pinch that in and pull it out. And what we're just trying to deglaze the walls of the cylinder to give the ring something nice to seat against. And I have the camera on the tripod, but I'm going to try and take it loose from the tripod and bring it over and show you what these cylinders look like after we're done. And that looks pretty decent. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just an Enduro car. So let's take a look at it. Let's get this out of the holder here and go over. And you can see the unhoned cylinder. You can see it's shiny, and then there's a nice glaze on it. And that'll give the rings a nice surface to seat against. Let's take a look at that crosshatch. It's maybe a little shallow, but not too bad, not too bad for by hand, and that'll work even for just a street rebuild. This is how I did my daily driver, which is a 2001 Celica, and in between oil changes, we go 5,000 miles with full synthetic oil. It may be used as a quarter of a quart of oil, which is not unusual for a motor with 189,000 miles on it. So these Toyotas, they really work, and they really work well. They have a long life, and in another episode, we're going to show you the piston modifications that we do to make it so that these rings don't seize up again. So there's a factory defect where they didn't have enough oil drain back holes in the piston to get the oil off the cylinder walls, and it just gradually seizes up all the rings. So we'll show you that in another episode, but wanted to go over this and show you, and we'll just work our way down and from one cylinder to the next. And let me pull my rag out here. Let's see if you can get it. Right there, there's our rag. So you can see I left the old head gasket on there. That's just to protect the block deck surface because it's aluminum. And if I would drop a tool on that or something like that, that could create an issue. So we leave that on there just as protection. The last thing we do before we put the head on is we'll pull that off and clean that, and then we'll go ahead and put the head on. So go ahead and like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.